now it started.
Yep, it started here as well.
Okay. Oh, you're recording via, you're using Google.
Yeah, I've got the access to do it in Google Meet. Yeah.
I see. I'm just doing, yeah, so that's good to have that as a backup because I'm doing it with my screen recording program. So then it's like a lot of unknowns. It's the sound, it's the image, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the speakers like it needs to do. And there's no way to see if it works until afterwards. Like it should work, but you never know.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll just talk, freely, and then Cecilia will edit it all together in some way after.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So, yeah, do you want to? Let me have. I had a list of questions here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Can you first? Can you talk about the business case that you hired us to solve?
Sure. So, so originally, so we do solar integrations for the solar industry for cloud software, connecting different cloud software together via API. And we were working with a company using Zapier, and we had written a Zapier plugin um, to connect the software that we required. But as the integrations became more and more complex, and we had more integrations, it was very difficult to manage in Zapier. So then we moved to another platform called Pipedream, and that Pipedream platform was much better. But because it was reasonably new, um, we started finding limitations, and the pricing model kept changing on us, where basically we were being charged for basically usage of cloud resources, which per user and things like this, which didn't make any difference to them, but it made a huge difference to us. So it wasn't practical for us to use that platform either. And also we wanted to code in our own environment. We wanted to code on our own machines. We didn't want to be beholden to using their web-based interface, which was clunky. So that's when we engaged you
Yeah.
to
Oh,
produce for us
can we ask? Can I ask
the
first, or
platform.
just have we like what for those who haven't come across those terms before? What's an integration and what's an API as well?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just
yeah.
describe.
So I'll start with the API is an application programming interface, and it's basically like a plug that you can put that has software. So usually when you connect to the software, you use the interface, which is the user interface, which is the buttons and the graphics and whatever on the app. But an application programming interface is a virtual plug, I guess you can call it, that another computer or another system can talk to that system behind the scenes, and they can talk to each other via code and via the internet securely. So that's what an API is, and there's a bunch of functions that are exposed through that plug, and they're available to the other system to be able to then interoperate those two systems. So two independent systems can talk to each other and perform functions. An integration is the process of creating the software that connects those two plugs together, um, and it's basically a service that's provided to connect to connect two APIs together into one flow or one connection. Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Um. Yeah. Great. So, uh, like to summarize, is it fair to say that you wanted to be able to create integrations with various APIs, but can you reiterate? Like, there's Zapier and there's Pipedream, or there are other solutions. Like, what was the thing that you didn't find, or that wasn't? Why didn't they fit your case?
Mostly the way they were designed was not designed for an agency such as, excuse me, they were not designed for an agency such as ourselves who's dealing with multiple clients. There always seems to be some kind of assumption um, or pipe dream that 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 the client is going to manage these integrations themselves. That somehow they're going to make these interfaces so easy, the user interface is so easy that you'll just be able to click and create your own integrations. But the reality is that it's always more complicated than that. So ultimately, we find that some code is required. So I think Pipedream does a fairly good job of that in terms of providing a little area where you can create code. I think they're on the right track. But I feel like we've taken that to the next level, where we've got the ability to actually create them as little apps, little apps of their own, that are written in code, and using the system that you've produced as the platform to manage those. Yeah. So
All
that's
right.
the thing I think that was missing. Plus also the pricing point as well. Um, you know, we'd rather pay for direct resources on the cloud, like hard disk space and memory and processing power, rather than paying for things that are just things that have been made up, like number of users and all of this kind of stuff. So I feel like they're just using the cloud themselves and charging astronomical amounts of money. Um, so we wanted to be able to have a system that we could pass on those savings to our customers, particularly Australian customers, solar industry who doesn't have all that much money yet. So that's kind of where we're at there.
All right. And then so then so the solution that we created is something that, so yeah, both you and I, we are programmers, so we kind of know what programmers like, which is like yeah, version control, and we want to use our own text editor and all of this. So that's what we built. But all in
And we
all,
want to use the CLI as well for control, because it's much more efficient than using like a web-based interface. It's much more secure and efficient. So
yeah,
we also wanted to be able to use a CLI. And I'm not aware of any other tools that provide a CLI interface. I mean, Pipedream does admittedly provide a CLI interface, but I don't believe it's as comprehensive as what we've built. So
all right.
yeah,
Yeah. So how did you think that the solution turned out that we created?
great. Great, yeah. They did end up being a little bit more involved in it, but that wasn't anything to do with your part in that. That was just us realizing that the scope. I guess once we trusted working with you and we could see that everything was working, then we increased the scope to really get exactly what we wanted. And that was great. It was good. I found that you were efficient and knew your stuff in regard to the latest coding techniques and latest technologies, particularly Cloudflare Workers, Node.js. So it kind of took us to the next level with those technologies. So I feel like we've got a solution that's going to last for quite a long time. So yeah, it was good. It's
Yeah.
great working with you. Yep.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great
Yep.
to hear. Yeah, that was my next question. What was the process like? And yeah, also, are there any tips? How can we improve the process?
Um, I feel like the process was good. It was very professional. I felt like I was definitely consulted on what I wanted before you went about it, and you really kind of made sure that you understood exactly what it was that I was trying to achieve before you launched into it too far. And I appreciated that, because otherwise, I think that other people can, because I'm a coder like you are. I think that other people can understand what I want, but
Yeah.
I think there was some consultancy required, and I appreciated that. Um, I think if there's any way that you could improve, I would only suggest that maybe I don't know. I think for us, because we're coders already, we sort of just agreed on how we would tackle like post launch bugs and issues and things like that. So I felt very comfortable with all of that.
Yeah.
But I guess if I wasn't a coder, I probably would want some kind of like interface or app. But maybe you do already provide that normally when it's not another coder. I'm guessing you probably do. So that would be the only thing, just that kind of, and then understanding when the person would be available to do it. But again, we agreed on that, and I felt like that was really solid as well. I knew exactly when you'd be back, and you turned up on time every time.
All
Um,
right.
so I actually can't really think. I
Yeah.
actually can't really think of any way
Because
that you could have improved the process. I think I was very happy, but I also understand that I'm a coder. So working with you, for me, I had a really clear idea. We both had a clear idea of how to work with each other. So yeah, I think it,
there
it
was
was good.
there
It
was
worked out
one
well.
thing there was one thing that I tried to do. I tried to step out of my comfort zone a little bit because I know what we would like to find is like a process to work to collaborate or to build solutions for clients that actually really work asynchronously and work remotely, which is sometimes that's actually, yeah. I mean, when you are in an office at the same time, the process is very different. But then one thing that I tried to do was to send you little video updates, almost like daily, like a
Yeah,
five
that was
minutes.
great. That was
Yeah.
awesome. That's the first time I've worked with a developer like yourself and had those really comprehensive video updates. That was because there was a twofold reason for that. One was for me to be able to see the progress and feel confident that we were moving in the right direction. But the other reason why they were so useful was because I was able to actually use those for our own internal team to be able to relay the information and document how the thing actually works.
Mhm.
So those videos were really, really useful for us, not just for myself, but for the entire team. So yeah, they were great. They're really good.
Oh, good to hear. Yeah. Um, so then, yeah, the final question that I have is that we built this all on a platform. We call it the Catnip Suite. That is also like documented on our webpage. But it should be noted that platform, it's not WordPress, it's not Next.js, and it's not something that people have heard of probably. Uh, I could imagine how people get a little bit scared off by the fact that it's uh, it's something in-house developed by us. But could you say something? Do you think? Yeah, you've seen a bit of the platform. What do you think it works? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the platform works, and the platform. I could see that the platform provided a lot of functionality out of the box that otherwise would have had to have been created from scratch. So it was really useful to have that as like a launch pad to be able to, particularly for the administration interface in our
Yeah.
situation. Um, the only thing I would have said around that was just that obviously um, the continued like there are some features in it there are some limitations that we did come across, but I think we kind of pushed it to its limit in regard to like just some controls that were missing, like checkbox, like multi checkboxes and things like this.
Oh, but
Um,
the platform is open source as well, so now you have in fact financed the development of those
Yeah,
controls,
yeah,
so
that's
they'll
awesome.
be
Yeah, well,
available to other
that's
people.
what I was going to say. Actually, that's the
Oh yeah.
only, when you were talking about the fear factor of using a platform like that, that was actually one of the things I was going to say was the only fear I would have is just the uncertainty around the licensing. So, if we wanted to add features to it ourselves, um, and for our own like management of assets within our business, um, that could potentially be unclear. But if it's open source, then that's very clear, and it just means that we don't actually ever sell your platform. We sell our platform, but the open source license means that always that component always is open source by you guys.
No, exactly.
Um, So in that situation, it's perfect. It's exactly what we would need. And I would hope that if our team added extra controls to it, for instance, that we would be very happy to contribute those back to you. And then obviously you'd be able to decide whether or not we've done it to your standard, and commit it back into your system. But yeah, I'm very much a advocate of open source software, and be very happy to contribute back into your framework. So yep, no, it's good. It's worked out really well.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
thanks. Yeah. I guess all those are the questions I have. Like, are there anything else anything you want to add? You can think of?
Yeah, well, I think I was really happy. I want to add that the thing that I found really good about working with you was the consistency. I found that it wasn't like sometimes developers will like develop really, really quickly and then all of a sudden they stop, or they're not available because things get too hard, or they just get sick of the project or something like that. What I found working with you was that you were consistently interested and consistently available to continue building and supporting us. I felt like the pace in which you developed it never slowed down. I feel like it was a nice, steady, constant pace, and it was fair, and it was efficient. That's quite unusual, and that I really valued working with you in that area. And I felt like the amount of what you charged wasn't like super cheap, but it wasn't ridiculously expensive. I felt like it was exactly good value for money for what we got. Particularly, like you said, with the videos and the consultancy. So yeah, I'd have no hesitation in recommending you for other projects, or using you for other projects, and we'll definitely be using you. I mean, we've made a decision internally that for any continuing development on the actual platform, we'll just continue to use you. It makes sense to us, rather than because we've got limited resources. We like to work on the actual integrations. Sometimes there might be a small change we'll make, and we'll push that back to you. But otherwise, we're happy to continue the relationship and keep working together on this system. So that's probably the only other thing I'd want to say. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for a successful software project. We're really grateful, and we've managed, that some of the clients were unhappy with the previous platform that they were on, and because of the new platform, we've been able to make them happy and confident, and we've been able to greatly reduce our costs. So we're really excited for the future, and we're really excited to see where this goes. So yeah, no, thanks. Thank you for all your time and effort. I really appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to. Yeah. It was great to. It was great how everything aligned. The platform that we had actually created for a previous client. The case was completely different. That was a web shop, but it was great to see that it actually was such a good fit to build what you needed as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. No worries.
I wonder how long this video is now. We'll cut it together, so it will be.
I think it's about half an
Yeah,
hour,
it's about
maybe.
half an hour. Yeah.
If you need anything else, just get back to me. It's no
Yeah.
problem, and I can meet you in the same room so it
make
looks
look
the same.
Oh yeah. No, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right.
All right.
I had. So we can say that the interview is finished.
Okay. Interview's finished. I'll stop
Interview is
the recording.
finished. Yeah, I'll also stop recording.